couple of points. The first one is it allows us to connect with our new and existing customers. It allows us to discuss innovation and how Tower can improve their supply chain.
Well, we see that these days that clients really want something really fast to them. So it's important that we look at the digitalization and the visibility of our warehousing and the total supply and the total supply chain. So we at EFL are working with various stakeholders and partners to ensure that we bring this as closest to the customer as possible. We at EFL are firm believers that we are as good as our last shipment. It's been our DNA for the last 40 years that we have been in the business, that we have worked alongside partners and helped build where we are built today. So we do our due diligence, check and work with the strongest partners available to ensure that we are able to deliver to the customer.
What makes a 3PL perfect or 4PL perfect is really the quality of the business relationship we entertain with them. Eventually, that business relationship should have a foundation in two things. One is trust, and the other one is transparency. Therefore, in selecting a 3PL or 4PL, we should assess that the very level of trust and transparency are actually there. Obviously, we're all familiar with the RFPs and the sourcing exercise where we have a plethora of qualitative and quantitative measures. So I'll probably focus on three major criteria. So the first one is trust and transparency in delivering continuous improvement. So one example I can take is our perfect 3PL accepts to sign continuous improvement clauses. Those clauses have contractual targets where you have a year-over-year improvement percentage. It's tied up to leading and lagging indicators. And as a leading indicator, you could take the example of committing on, let's say, a workshop per year. If it's a lagging indicator, you could commit on measuring the total cost of savings from operational excellence. Many of those elements around continuous improvement. I would say the second one you could look at in terms of trust and transparency is the costing of the business, right? So, for example, you would like your perfect 3PL to accept an activity-based costing. Where each cost element is broken down, where you have transparency on those costs, and you tied up the cost on the should-be performance, not necessarily on the commercial agreement. And next to that, of course, everyone needs to make money. So you can just put the margin aside and say this is what everyone will earn at the end, but you make the cost a common enemy. And building on that costing in the business model is also a way to enhance trust and transparency. The third and the last one I probably would like to talk about is around trust and transparency in terms of engaging the people in both companies. So another example is your perfect 3PL who need to establish a governance model that engages the senior leadership, its middle management, its operational staff, right? So all these functional teams that will be key for the success of the partnership. And at the same time, right, as Elanco, we will be putting the similar engagement team in the governance to ensure that that dialogue occurs. So I would say again, to summarize, to choose and select the best 3PL or 4PL, making sure that we have trust and transparency would be key.
The main thing that we are looking for is the technical competence and also the geographical coverage and right fit with the company in terms of price and efficiency. So we try to strike a balance between these two and select someone who can offer us the best of both. Scattered across all the four areas of India, north, south, east, west, and sometimes they are not just in metro cities but in tier B or tier C cities. So we need partners who can reach those cities and also, in a defined time frame, not more than 48 to 72 hours, transporting materials in temperature controlled conditions which are very critical for our clinical trials. So that becomes a very important selection criteria when we are looking at partners.
It's been a great experience to meet the entire industry or most of the industry under this platform, to see where the pharma is moving in the next couple of years, the digitalization, the artificial intelligence. We at AFL are working on this space, and we are confident that we'll be able to deliver.
So like I said, Pharma is the first dedicated supply chain event that I have attended, and it has been a very interesting experience because I have got to know people who are delivering services across the range of the spectrum, and also the latest technological advances that have been happening in the area of supply chain and logistics, so which can go into making better choices in terms of the partners that we select for our upcoming projects. I think those are the two key advantages that being associated with Pharma.